Welcome back, Wayward Soles at the Double Tap In, episode 6. And big news today. Well, big news as of Monday.
That's right.
The trailer is live. Tomorrow, the first episode goes live. So this thing is it's like actually happening.
Yes, it is.
You know? How long have we been talking about doing it?
A long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yep. I mean, it was in the works for a little while. And then we started recording some shows. I think if anybody's looking to start in the podcast thing, and not that I know much about how to run a successful one, but like you have to have your stuff lined up and in place before you start. Because if you're going to try and do it and have a life outside of it, if you're going to try and do it live, have a life outside of it, it's very time consuming. And if you're going to promote it, all that kind of stuff on social media, it's very time consuming. So
as I'm learning.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, the show went live on Monday. That was April 29th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That was our trailer. So I hope you listen to that if you haven't. And then we have an episode. So it'll launch. We have new episodes coming out on Mondays and Thursdays. So the first episode will come out on May 2nd. And by the time you're watching this, hopefully you've already seen that one. You've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it enough to keep coming back and watch all the shows.
And interact.
If not, yeah. So yeah, it's live. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, brother. Couldn't do it without you. Of course, it's
Same.
Technology, and I don't know jack shit. So,
well, like I was talking about, to try and do this and to do it on a regular basis, to get enough content together, I don't think you can do it by yourself. Correct. Someone that's in my position, I got a 3-year-old and he'll be 3 months. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy, next week. Isn't it? Yeah. 3-year-old and a 3-month-old. Like, it's trying to do this
full-time job and
a full, and other shit to do around the house. Like, so couldn't do it without you either, my friend. So with that being said, we're live. Awesome. Episode 6, and the way things are running, the even episodes are going to be the airing of the grievances. And boy, do I have one today. This might be the shortest podcast ever.
Depends on who hears it.
Yeah. Spotify, earmuffs. Google, earmuffs. Like, everybody that's in charge of some sort of technology that's run through this household, put your earmuffs on, because holy shit, you're a pain in the ass. God sakes. So everybody's all worried and concerned about security, and you have to put a password in, then you get the 6-digit authentication key, and you have to change your password every 6 hours to something that's completely unique and have 8 different special icons. And holy shit, what a pain in the ass. One, I don't have enough shit for it to be that important anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even if you break into my bank.
Security. It might be barbecue security, but it's not national security.
Yeah. And if you ask me about that, I'll tell you. I got nothing to hide. Holy cow. And if you break into my bank account, like, you're going to look at it and you'll be like, shit, maybe I should give this guy some money.
Sorry, dude. What's your Venmo?
Yeah. That's going to be running across the bottom, folks. Feel free to contribute. So Spotify is the host of our podcast, and it is super easy to use. As we mentioned before, I've helped set up and run another podcast before this one. It's Thirsty Thursday with Strike the Box Training, a fire service related content. Hickman's been on that. It's a super fun show. We have, I think, close to 60 episodes. But that is also hosted through Spotify. Mm-hmm. And Spotify will help you distribute your podcast. They will give you little ads. Like, once you get a certain viewership or listenership, they'll give you ads that you can record and play if you want to try and make a little money off of it, and kind of build your show. obviously, if you build your show through Spotify, like it builds them too. So, again, like we talked about last week, if you're not paying anything for it, you're the product. So
Yes.
we're basically doing the work for them, which again, they're allowing us to do something we enjoy. So it's no big deal. But before, you had to have a separate login for each podcast that you have. Well, recently they allowed you to combine your accounts into one login, whether it's through Google, your Apple account, or an email account, whatever you wanted to use, you can combine them all together. Great. I love Google. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
I'm not giving up my iPhone, but I love Google.
Correct.
So I go through and I start the process with the first one. Yep, you're recognized, claimed, whatever they call it. You're good to go. So now I go to this one, do the same thing, and started off with a little bit of trouble because I couldn't remember the password, or the password that I had on my phone didn't match whatever password they had for the Spotify podcaster account for Wayward Souls at the Double Tap In. That's all right. I'll reset it. It comes up. You can't use that. You've already used it.
No.
Well, then why the hell can I, why didn't it log me in? I only had one.
Right.
Why didn't it log me in? What was wrong with it?
Yep.
So I go back and try it again. Nope. If you forgot your password, click here. So I reset the password for that one. Finally get them set up, and I get to this page where on the left-hand side, it shows me both podcasts and all of my options for each to manage it. I'm like, this is great. This is fantastic. I'll go, whenever I get the Strike the Box one going again, I have one place, one login, one thing to do. This is great. So we were getting ready to record some shows, and I go to log in to get everything set up. And I log in with what I thought was my username and password. And it takes me to a whole other account, which I completely forgot I had. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Where's my other two? And it's the old account. It's not even the merged style. It's some old website. I was like, well, I sure as shit don't need this. So I delete that podcast. But now it's like, where the fuck did my other one go? So I don't even know how I found it again. Some sort of clicking around and found the right thing. And luckily on my Google Chrome link or my app, it just takes me right to it now. I don't know where it is. I don't know what the username is. I don't know what the password is. It works, but holy shit. Holy shit. I thought I lost this one. I thought I lost the other one.
Yeah. The other one, you've got hundreds of hours invested in that. You got 60 episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is hundreds of hours of time invested. Yeah. A little bit of panic, I would imagine.
Yeah. And that's been, I want to say it's a little, it might be right at a year, or June might be a year since we've done anything with that. But people are still watching it.
Yeah.
You go, you click into there to see the stats and stuff, and the numbers are still going up. People are still going to that podcast and watching it. And it's been a year since we posted anything new. And it's great content. We were, some guy that
100%.
Yeah. Some guy that doesn't know what he's doing. Oh yeah. Yeah. I consider myself competent in the fire service as a firefighter paramedic. But I don't teach regionally. I don't teach nationally. If somebody has asked me at work, or another department asked me to come talk about something, sure, I'll tell you what I know. Our friend Trevor, who we did the podcast with, was always a big proponent of, it's not yours if you can't give it away.
Right.
So if you have the information, you should share that. That's just how that works. Mm-hmm. So if there's something they're rattling around in here between these 2 years that you want, it's yours. and do with it what you will. I don't care. But we had some national and internationally known people that, like, I still don't know how we pulled that off. It was because they were like-minded people. We had the chief of safety for the FDNY, Frank Lieb, he's traveled internationally
everywhere
talking about firefighter cancer and safety, and he's just an incredible guy. On top of his knowledge in the fire service, just an awesome guy to sit down and talk with. We had Bobby Halton before he passed. Bobby was he went through the ranks in, I think, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and from the newest guy on the floor to the fire chief, and then was the editor in chief of fire engineering and ran FDIC. And we sent him an email, and then one day, like, my phone starts ringing, and it's this. I think he lived in Oklahoma at the time. And now to tell you, like, the phone number, and then underneath maybe, like, whoever it might be, it says maybe Bobby Holton. I was like, no fucking way this guy's calling me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be right back. Hello? Hi, Ben. This is Bobby Holton. I was like, holy shit. So there's stuff like that, like stuff that, like, and again, what like I was shocked with the people that we got on there. It was really fun, really cool. But like we talked about at the beginning, the time that it took to do that was insane. Like, I can't imagine trying to do, because we would also go live on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine trying to do that now.
No, and I wouldn't want to. I mean, I can see where the benefit of the live audience is, because, like when I watch, we could interject, or we could pose a question that you guys would pick up and enter that into your discussion. Not that Trevor needed any help in continuing the discussion, but you had that option. But I can't see doing that now. I can't. It's there's too many variables for you and I. Right now we're looking. It's 10:30 in the morning. Who's going to get up and watch a live podcast at 10:30 in the morning? Most people haven't had coffee running yet, or they're sitting in their office, or they're on the floor at the firehouse or whatever. And it's just not realistic right now. Yeah,
and that show we ran it started at 7 p.m. at night. And now I think back to, like, 7 p.m. Like, all right, well, we're finishing up dinner. Or it's like the playtime, and then, like, we're doing the bedtime stuff at 8:15. Little man is eating before that, and like that's his last couple, like, hour, like, time. Let's say that's his last little bit before we put him down for, hopefully a sleep through the night. But it's like there's no way that would work, because it wasn't just 7 to 8, because the show never stopped at 8.
That's correct.
You had some really great conversation that would go. You'd be 8:30, 8:45, and I'd be like, hey guys, we got to cut it off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but we're at an hour 45. Like, we can't keep going.
Right.
I can't. I got to pee. And then there was there's the pre-show and the after show where you're going to be hanging out, catching up. So it turned into a 2.5 hour event
easily.
And it was every other week. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't even know where we had the time to do that.
I think the show that I was on, we logged on at 6:30, 6:45. We shot the shit. And then when the show was over, it went over an hour, which, they typically did. And so then we stay online, because I hadn't talked to Trevor and how long, so we just sat and shot the shit, like we all did. So which was, again, it was great. Catching up with you, which now I do regularly, but then chatting with these other folks that
Like it was cool to like just some of the things that they thought about. Like it was another level.
Yep.
Like, like things we talk about, like just thinking on a different level, like the smoked fried turkey.
Yeah.
Like, whew.
Yeah. And to
like,
sit here and look at your password and say, holy shit, is this all gone?
Right.
I can just imagine the pucker factor. You drive a thumbtack in your ass with a 9-pound sledgehammer.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to take my computer and launch it because it's the computer's fault. But it was about to go for a ride.
Take the brunt.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I feel a little bit better. Hopefully Spotify and Google don't cancel us. Sorry. We appreciate it. We love you guys. But holy shit, that was a pain.
Growing pains is all that is growing pains.
Yeah. So do you have any tell me about your password stories.
So my biggest one, because I'm going through it right now, the state of Maryland, when you have to get into their firearm registry and all that, you create an account, which I did when they first required it. To purchase a firearm, you have to log into your account, you have to fill out a bunch of stuff, so on and so forth. But the state of Maryland requires you to change your password every 30 days. So I'm doing a couple things online right now with the state of Maryland and firearms, regulated firearms, and just purchased another one. And so I know before I do anything, I have to go in and change my password to update it. Yeah, not a problem. We can do that. I can knock that right out, be good to go. So I do that. I go into the gun store and the guy says, you need to change your password every 30 days. Yeah, I did it before I came in here. This isn't quite my first rodeo. It's probably about my third or fourth. So I had done that. And 30 days goes by faster than you think it does. So doing what I did, we have multiple systems on our MCTs. You had NCIC, you had the county system, you had CAPWIN, which is a state system that links the majority of all state agencies. You had the accident reporting system. You had e-tickets. You had all kinds of stuff. And they usually require anywhere between a 30-day and a 90-day password change. So and of course, now I had a system going. I think I mentioned this earlier. I had a system going where it was based on the month. And I could do my opening that I always used, add the month and year in, and then close it out with the special characters. And great system, worked great. I could tell by what month I'm in what my passwords were going to be, Well, then, of course, the state gets, I don't know if they get paranoid about it. I don't know, but they changed the algorithm. And that required you couldn't do any combination or repeat of your previous passwords. So that threw that whole system off. So basically, you could see where it changed, and then all my passwords went to gibberish. It just, you couldn't have rhyme or reason to anything. God forbid I ever lose that book. If I lost that book, I'd probably have to go through all the classes again to prove who I was and all that kind of shit. But they were just absolutely hard. You take off a couple weeks, which I always took off from the middle of October to the middle of November to hunt, fish, do that kind of stuff. You come back after that 30 days, everything was expired. Mm-hmm. Then you had to go into the office. You had to log into a desktop because you were expired. Mm-hmm. You didn't change it prior to, you had to go to a desktop, not the MCT, and start the process for everything over again. And at one point, we had little tokens, and you had to get a number off the token, which changed every 7 minutes or some stupid shit. And, and you had to put that in as your token ID to even make that more inaccessible to people. Like, what the fuck are they going to do with that information?
Yeah.
It's just, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
Yeah.
It is what it is. We all got through. We survived, and I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. If Google shuts me out, oh, well, I remember my safety questions or whatever the hell they are. Pineapple, you know. Well, that's a safe word. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. There was. So I was cleaning out my Google Drive, which takes up my photos, my email, notes, calendar, all that kind of stuff. Because again, I love Google. I use it for everything.
Yeah.
But we were running out of space with baby pictures between the 3-year-old and the 3-month-old. And I was like, I don't know what the heck this is. And I'm just like clearing shit out as fast as I can go from my email. Because if it's over 3 years, I probably don't need it.
Yeah.
You know? So in there was my electronic note of passwords.
Yeah.
And of course, every time I cleared something out, I then went to the trash can
and dumped it.
Cleared the trash can out. Yep. So not only did I take it out of my notes in my inbox, I took it out of everything. And once it's gone from there, like unless you're going to spend all day with Google trying to get it back, and probably not even going to do it then,
not be successful. Yep.
Yeah. Like I remember looking, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Yep.
Oh shit. And like, it's gone. Created a new one. And there was some on there that I know that I don't have. And clearly I needed those websites really badly.
Yeah.
And there's some on there now that are new, but oh my gosh, that hurt my soul a little bit when I did that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
No, if I ever lost that book that I had in my shirt pocket, every cop's got a book in their shirt pocket. If I'd ever lost that book, I'd have played hell getting all my stuff back. Because it's not the ones that I use every day. It's the obscure ones that you don't use.
Yeah.
That when you need it, you need it. And that would be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of that stuff, like if I got the password to it, like what am I going to do with it? Like for example, the e-tickets. What am I going to do with an e-ticket password?
Yeah.
Even if I knew how to log into it.
Yep.
What am I going to do once I get there?
You can't get the program to even log into it because it doesn't. It only exists on law enforcement MCT.
Yeah.
We're going to break into a police car, turn it on, log into something and you can't change anything in it. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't erase your 407 tickets or warnings that you've gotten. You can't adjust the data.
Yeah. Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
And what's something special?
Yeah. And what's another, like if I was another officer, we work together. What am I going to get by logging into yours?
Nothing.
Like
nothing.
Yeah. We had a person at work years ago. They would get up and leave their computer terminal, like they wouldn't lock it or they wouldn't log off. And their email was up. And one of the chiefs walked by and said, you really need to lock your computer like when you leave. I was like, and the response was, well, I was the only one here using this one. Like it was in a part of it wasn't like a common area of the firehouse. So it was, if you were there, it was for a specific purpose. And it was a very small group of people that used it. That like, if I know that if I walk in and see you using it, I'm not going to mess with it. Like, that's just like, that's the people that are using that room. And like, even if it was the other way around, like you would see it, you're like, oh, I know Ben's in the middle of something. As much as we like to play pranks on each other.
Yeah.
Like that's a spot. That's a thing that you just don't mess with.
Yeah.
And the supervisor says, well, I can see all your emails. And the employee looks back at the supervisor, says, sir, you're my supervisor. You can see my emails even if you no matter what. So
and you probably have the same emails that I have.
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. It's not like I can go, somebody can just walk in and go in and adjust the schedule or do something or.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I know when I work, I'll be there, whatever. Fun times.
Always.
So, yeah. So I think our next show is back to cooking. And I know we normally pregame that with like, hey, what are you thinking? But as we're kind of wrapping this one up, hey, what are you thinking? I know we keep talking about having to do pork belly. What do you think about a pork belly episode?
I think that's what we need to do because I know that you've cured some stuff and done that. And I think that's what we should jump into.
Sounds good.
That works for me.
All right. Well, as we wrap this show up, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a password problem, feel free to let us know. waywardsoles88@gmail.com. Again, now that we're live, we're going to look for some feedback. The first couple episodes, I don't think we had that feedback part set up, but as we get into the swing of things, we get our intros and our exits kind of figured out. We're looking for stuff. Again, if it's good enough, we might get you on the show, or we might read it, might have it played, whatever it is. But we want to hear from you guys if you're listening and you're enjoying the show. With that also being said, if there's something that you want to talk about, which I think there were some comments on the pork that I did that I think would be interesting to address.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do the pork belly and that pork shoulder.
Yeah.
Next episode. So, but yeah, reach out. Like I said, waywardsoles88@gmail.com. The podcast is going to be all over the place. iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, obviously, Pocket Cast, I think, and Overcast, something like that. I don't know. Castbox. I don't know. Go to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, the big ones, iHeartRadio. Excuse me. It's on there. Yeah. And enjoy the show. There should be a little thing where you can interact with us. Let us know what you're thinking. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.